Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams Knitting Podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. And this is the corner of YouTube where I come to share my making, but mostly knitting journey with all of you. So, welcome. If you're a new or a returning viewer, you're very, very welcome here. And I have a very special episode today. I have massive finished objects. I have a trip to Vermont, to the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival, and I obviously have a lot of works in progress. So, without any further delay, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So, I recorded a few days ago, I think. It has not been too long since my last episode. I think 10 days ago, maybe. But yeah, I usually have longer gaps between episodes, but this one is a special one because I have so much to talk about. I have a lot of I have finished a lot of knitting and I've done a lot of knitting. And I went to the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival this past weekend. And so I didn't want to wait to record, and because I wouldn't have any time this coming weekend, I thought I'd just do it on a weekday. So today is actually Tuesday, October 4th. I'm just back from work. I quickly got all my knitting projects together, everything I want to show you, everything I want to talk about. I'm going to ramble a lot today because I have done no preparation. I usually don't prepare, but at least I think about what all I'm going to talk about, but we'll just do this extempore, right? I'm just gonna jump right into it and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so since we met the last time, I have finished two massive sweaters. One of them is the beautiful elephant in the room, the CARGILL sweater, and the other one is the forest fine sweater, which I'm going to talk about next. So what I'm going to do is talk about my sweaters first and then talk about the Vermont sheep and wool, because I want to use the whatever light we have to the maximum and then show my knitting, and then we can talk about the festival. Or maybe I might switch this around in editing. We'll figure it out as as we go. So yeah, so let's talk about my finished objects. I'm wearing my CARGILL sweater. This is a design by Rebecca, who is the Crea Bea on Instagram and on YouTube. And this is her first design. It is a beautiful sweater. It's a raglan sweater with this all over dip stitch. It is a very, very pretty sweater. I'm gonna put videos and pictures of me standing up and kind of showing how it fits when I'm standing. I'm not gonna stand up now. There's too much going on. Plus I put on my sweatpants underneath this because I was in formal wear all day today. So I'm not really in the mood to record in formal wear. So unless you want to see my torn joggers because the cats have punched holes into them, I'm not gonna stand up. But yeah, so I have finished the sweater. It is beautiful. I really love the sleeves. Can you see the sleeves? So pretty. So it's just straight sleeves with cinched in cuff, and I have woven in the ends, it's just sticking out. My sleeves are pretty exactly wrist length. They're not any longer. I don't always like long sleeves. Like some sweaters I'll make long sleeves when I want them to fit a certain way. I want them to be the cozy sweater, but this is like a smart looking sweater. Um it has ease, but it's not super oversized or anything. So I like the sleeves to be just perfect, and they are so pretty. I don't know what else to say about this sweater. Rebecca has done an amazing job on her first design. I can't believe this is her first design. We had such a blast testing it. There were so many wonderful testers. A lot of them have podcasts, so I'm sure you're gonna hear about it on other people's videos as well. The yarn I've picked is Cami Jo Knit. Camilla, who has the Cami Jo Knit, she has the yarn and she has the podcast and she has patterns that she releases, but I used her yarn. This is the Camijo sock base in the petals colorway, and I held it with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the powder colorway. I'll have all the details on my Ravelry page, and I'll link everything in the show notes here. So, and if you have any questions, and if I forgot to mention something because I'm in a crazy chaotic mood right now, please reach out. You can send me an email at schemesofdreamsknits@gmail.com, and I'm pretty active on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Ravelry, so wherever you text me, you will hear back. So yeah, so I used the fingering and the mohair yarn held together. I made this on US 5 needles. I had swatched with other yarns, but I felt like this one gave me the most stitch detail. Um, and one of the major and probably the only modifications I made is Rebecca has her collar folded, like she folded the collar, she knitted a huge, like a longer length and then folded it and tacked it down. A lot of testers did that. But I don't feel too warm around my neck actually, or I always I always do this. I always use the wrong word. I don't feel too cold around my neck, so I actually get a little irritated if something is too like close to my neck. So I just did a simple collar. I didn't fold it, though the folded collar looks really smart. I wish I could wear sweaters like that, but I can't in all yarn. And this one, I don't think the mohair is kind of very warm, so I didn't want to do that. So I just did a regular collar. Other than that, I followed the pattern. It is pretty like basic raglan. What I would say was most challenging about this sweater for me was the dip stitch knitting. Like, not that the dip stitch itself is challenging, but the stitch is a little hard on your wrist. At least it was for me. And I felt like when I was knitting the body, because there are so many stitches and you have to do the repeat or the stitch a lot of times, your wrist kind of gets worked a lot. But other than that, I have like, there is nothing with the pattern. It's just the way we knit, and maybe it is just the way we hold our needle and we knit, and it might not happen with everyone. And you also know I knit like a crazy person, so maybe it was just that I was juggling a lot of projects and that's why I had the issue. But other than that, like, the pattern itself is pretty spectacular, and it is so popular. Like, everybody, like, the moment Rebecca put it on Ravelry, like, everyone has favorited it, everyone wants to knit it. So it's definitely, you're gonna see a lot of versions of the Cargill. And I'm super happy I had the opportunity to test knit the sweater, and it's done, and it's very beautiful. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Um, so yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Techniques wise, the only thing you have to pay a little attention with is how to increase in pattern, especially when you're doing the short rows of the back. So you first cast on for the back, you do the raglan while you are increasing, and then you join for the front. And then once you've established, or once you've figured out actually a few repeats and you've figured out how to increase in pattern, the rest of it is like it's super simple. I think it's just the initial, some people just like get a hang of it immediately, and some people may take a little longer, but the instructions are very clear, and I think Rebecca has a lot of video support also with it, so it should all be super easy. Yeah, so that is my Cargill sweater, and it's finished. All right, let's move on to my forest finds. I'm not gonna do a change in wardrobe. It's just easier for me to put up the videos and pictures because I took a lot of pictures of this sweater as well. And I took videos of me like moving about in it, so you'll see it on that. So this is my forest finds. It is done. I have completely finished it, put it together, done the buttons. I put snap buttons on it. And this one was like it was I wouldn't call it difficult, but it was like when I finished it, it was like an accomplishment, because you saw, if you watch my previous episodes, you've seen everything that I had to go through for it, right? You knit it in pieces, and then you have to wash and block the pieces. Then you join them together with 3 needle bind off, and then you have to do the button bands and the hem after you join the rest of the sweater. There were a lot of ends to weave in, and there is a zipper that Jennifer, did I say it's a design by Jennifer Parosini? Yeah, there's a zipper that Jen suggests in the pattern, but there is also an option for buttons. I went with the buttons just because I don't think a zippered garment goes with my wardrobe. Like, I like to keep things a little um, like, I prefer wearing my cardigans open, and I wanted to wear it with a few of my tops that are like a bit more feminine, and in my head zipper was not just going with my wardrobe. I mean, it's just my opinion, but a lot of people put in zippers and the sweaters look spectacular, like really, really beautiful tester versions. What I did was I sewed in uh, like a grosgrained ribbon in the at the end, and then I got these snap buttons that I installed. And installing snap buttons is super simple. Like, you have to make a hole in the ribbon, because the knit garment doesn't need a hole. You can put it through between stitches, and then you put this part and the other part in place, and you basically hold it down with a tool which almost looks like a rod, and then you hammer it on top, and it basically deforms the metal of one of the parts so that it kind of locks in with the other, and then they don't move. So I did this zipper installation, and I have ribbon on both sides, and this part has the male part that goes into the other one. So I installed snap buttons. I wouldn't say my snap button installation was the best. It could have been better. Even my ribbon sewing was not the best, I feel. It could have been better. Um, it's wearing fine. I wore it once. I think just my last button is a little farther away than it should be. So I think I might just add another button here. And I don't really mind if knitted garments have buttons that are not exactly perfectly equal distance from each other, because I feel like you need less buttons in some parts of your body and more in some. Like, you definitely need a button at the widest part of your like your chest, so that you can actually keep it together. Otherwise, you get that gap happening and everything. So I don't mind if the buttons are not equidistant from each other. So, but yeah, and this sweater has this beautiful inline pocket feature. The pocket was knit like while you're knitting this particular panel. So you can see that these panels, so this was one panel, this was the second panel, and you join them with 3 needle bind offs. Let me show you the inside. So this is a 3 needle bind off happening at the back. The sleeve is attached with 3 needle bind offs. Then there is a 3 needle bind off between the raglan stockinette piece and the front piece. So I am super, super happy with this sweater. Like, it is amazing, and just the whole journey of putting this sweater together was it was an experience. Now, I must say that if you are looking for a mindless knit where you just want a sweater and you're not into the whole garment construction, I'm going to be honest, don't consider this pattern. If you are looking for a mindless sweater, this is one where you want interest in what you're knitting. The knitting part of it is not hard. It's not hard as in the instructions are simple, the pieces are simple, the textured portion has a chart and you can follow it and it's all fine. It's just that the experience of knitting so many different pieces and then like washing them, pin blocking them to measurement, because the reason you have to do them in pieces is that the stockinette gauge, row gauge, is different from the row gauge of your textured portion. So to get the same length of garment, you have to knit different rows for the stockinette and different for the texture. And literally all you have to do is look at the pattern and follow instructions. Jen's instructions are immaculate, like she's done a very good job of it. But the pattern is very lengthy, it's wordy, just because she has put in so much effort into the details, into the things, like she has you measure your bust versus your upper bust. So that would be just around here, like around your, just under your armpit, and then your full bust, and then you figure out whether you need cup shaping, and then she has you follow a certain size depending on the cup shaping that you do. So I think the harder part is keeping track with the wordy and lengthy pattern, but the knitting itself is very simple. And then after the knitting, you get all the putting your pieces together, you put the three needle bind offs. In fact, I actually prefer three needle bind offs to mattress stitching, so I didn't have an issue with three needle bind offs. The picking up of stitches can be really like, it's almost like ASMR for me, like I can just really get in the groove of it. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed doing it. I would say it's definitely for a process knitter. If all you're looking for is a simple finished garment, this may not be the pattern for you. So that's like full disclosure about it. But whoever has made it is really in love with it. It fits really, really well because Jen has done such a great job of sizing and designing the pattern. You have to think of it almost like a sewing garment, like you have to do individual pieces and then put them together, and sewing garments can be like a lot of steps involved. So it's not like your typical top down sweater, right? Like, so that is definitely a disclaimer and full disclosure for this particular sweater. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. I got really nice pictures. I think the color really suits me. It looks really nice on me, if I may say so myself, which I am. This was actually yarn I bought at Rhinebeck last year. So this is Primrose Yarn Company. The base is Rowan DK and the color is Zodiac. And I actually finished it in time for the festival I went to this year, which was the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival. So I kind of want to make this like a thing, like, you know, buy yarn at a festival and make a garment and then wear it to the next one. I didn't actually wear it to the festival because that day it was not super warm, but I wore it over the weekend when I was in Vermont. But I'm super, super pleased with how this turned out, and I'm so happy and so like, you know, it feels like an accomplishment, like you feel good as a knitter that you were able to pull this off. Like it feels like a, like, you know, you've achieved a lot. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with both my test knits, both my finished objects, and I'm so happy they're done, because both these sweaters together, like I didn't realize when I was signing up for these two test knits that both of them would be kind of challenging in their own ways. The Cargill, because my hands were hurting from the dip stitch, and then this forest finds because of all the things I've already mentioned. So both of them together and having the same release date was kind of a lot for me. Like I almost felt burnt out, almost, which is why after like like after finishing these sweaters, I basically didn't cast on anything until I went to Vermont, and I kind of like calmed down, and the weekend really helped me calm down, and kind of it got me excited about so many new projects after meeting with Mel and Salma. Like I got like my brain went all like I got super excited about so many projects and everything. But now I finally figured out what I want to cast on. But right after I finished these sweaters, I just did not want to look at knitting. So I was actually knitting on socks because I was so done with garment knitting. But you know, it won't last long. Like I need a garment on my needles, and I already have plans for garments on my needles. But yeah, that is the story of my September test knits. I say September because I have two more test knits, which I spoke about in the last episode, but I have not cast on either of them. The deadline is in November, and I will cast them on. Actually, one of them I'm swatching for, and I didn't meet Gage, so I'm just like, I have to swatch more. But yeah, that's done. We had a little bit of a location change because it got really dark up in my room. So I came downstairs to this breakfast nook that we have, and decided to record the rest of the episode from here because there's a little more light here. It's the southern part of the house, so and it has a lot of windows. So I'm hoping the light is good for the rest of the episode. And I'm sorry, but it's a really choppy episode because I had to do it in parts to conserve the light. Like we're heading into fall, we don't have as many bright days anymore, and longer bright days basically because I work 9 to 5 basically, and I can't record anytime after like during the day or anything. So anyway, that aside, I'm sure you're all looking forward to hearing all about the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival. So let's get going. So as I mentioned before, Selma from Little Big Knits and Mel from Mel Makes Stuff and I decided to go to the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival together. So we booked an Airbnb and we were sharing like a room and a half basically. And the festival was on 1st and 2nd of October, that Saturday and Sunday. We decided to get there Friday by 3:30 in the afternoon. I took all of Friday off, but it is an 11-hour drive for me from Pittsburgh to Royalton, where we were staying. The festival was in Tunbridge. So I decided that on Thursday night, I'm going to drive to Buffalo, which is 3.5 hours from here. So after work, I drove to Buffalo, stayed at a friend's place, and then in the morning around 7:30, I left Buffalo to go to Vermont to complete the rest of the 7-hour journey. And I got to Vermont by 2:30. Like I made good time. I didn't stop much. I usually don't eat during drives. I have no footage of the drive because you should be proud that I did not take my phone out while I was driving. And honestly, I didn't stop anywhere to get any footage, but the fall colors were so pretty. It was beautiful. I was very happy. I like driving, so it was a really nice drive and everything. So I really enjoyed that. And then I got there at 2:30, but Selma and Mel didn't get there until 4:35. So I was a little like all over the place because I had these testnet deadlines to meet. Then I had a lot of work at my day job. I mean, you would think I'm a full-time knitter given how much knitting I get done, but I'm not. So I had a lot of work in the office as well. So I it was a busy week, and then I had the drive and everything. So when I got there, and that 1.5 hours I had just nothing else happening, it was really nice. Like I just sat and knit, and I was really excited and waiting for Selma and Mel because I was really excited to meet them and everything. So I got a lot of done on my sock project, so that was good. And yeah, and then they got there, and I was so happy to see them. Like, first Mel arrived, and then Selma arrived, and the Airbnb was actually very rustic, very, very. I think at first when I walked in, I didn't know what to expect, kind of a thing, but it turned out to be this old house from 1978. It apparently was a girls' riding camp, like a summer camp place, and they had redone the place, and they had a huge room, and then like a small annex to that room. So there was a large bed in one part of in the main room, and then the annex had like a sofa pull-out bed and everything. And they had like a fridge and some and a coffee maker, some cups, and like it was pretty basic, but I mean we knew it was going to be a rustic place, so I just didn't know what rustic meant. Maybe like I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was really nice. And once Selma and Mel got there, I couldn't think of anything else. Like I didn't I was completely engrossed in talking knitting and everything else with them. Like it was so good. And it is a real weird thing. Like we watch each other's podcasts and we text and everything. But when you meet people, you would think that it would be awkward or something, right? Because you're meeting them for the first time. But it was just like old friends meeting. Like we gave each other big hugs and then we just went chatted away about all the knitting. It was so beautiful. I really love that about the knitting community, and also specifically Salma and Mel. I think we get along really well. And it was like meeting your people, right? Like, so it was really nice. And that evening we met and then we chatted, and of course we started knitting immediately. And then there's something about being at a totally different location than one of your houses, because you have no work to do, like you have no chores, you have nobody calling you, you're just there in the moment with your friends and knitting like that. It was amazing. So we knitted away and then we found a place for dinner. So we went to, it was only like a 10-minute drive. We drove to that place, but the first restaurant we went to, it was very busy and we had to wait in a queue and everything. And then we're like, you know what, this is not the vibe we're going for, because we want to just sit and relax and maybe knit a little. So then we went to another restaurant. I think it was called Crossroads. This is in South Royalton, if I'm not wrong. Um, and we had a nice dinner. We had a beer each, I think so. And then we had some dessert, and all this while we're of course chatting away, not just about knitting, but about everything. Like it was really really fun. And then we went back to the room and then did more knitting. So there's like knitting was a constant throughout. Obviously, like that is exactly what we were there for. And then the next day morning, we didn't want to like go to the festival first thing. Like we just wanted to have a peaceful beginning to our weekend, and it was vacation, so we didn't really want to wake up super early. And I didn't realize how tired I was from all the driving, because I slept like I usually wake up by 6 o'clock every day, but I think I slept until 8 or something. So clearly I was exhausted. But I was in like, completely high from all the talking and meeting friends and knitting and everything. So anyway, that morning we had a slow start, and we were knitting in the morning, and then we went out to check out the surrounding, because the previous day I got there, but I didn't really think of checking out like the farm and everything where we were at. And there were so many beautiful sheep in that farm right behind where we were staying. There were sheep. They had a few sheep, and there was a huge pig. And then we went out there to get some footage so we could share with all of you. So I'm sure you will see this in Salma's and Mel's podcast as well. But it I also want to see, how each of us does this, the like talks about the festival, because even though we had a shared experience, we would put our own like perspective on it, right? So it will be fun watching all each other's podcasts, I'm sure. So after a slow start to the morning, we then headed to the festival. We got ready and headed to the festival, and it was around noon that we got there, I think. And first thing we did, we were really hungry. We didn't eat any breakfast, so we went and got some food. We went and got some really good food at a Caribbean booth. And after that we got some maple ice cream. Of course we have to have maple ice cream, right? We're in Vermont. And after that is when all the shopping started. And I'm gonna put some footage in here of just all the booths that we were checking out and all the shopping that we were doing. So yeah, so we shopped quite a bit, and then we had to go back to the car and put our stuff away and actually go back because there was a whole building we had not checked out. But it was really really nice. Like I felt it was I kind of liked it more than Rhinebeck in a way because there weren't as many people, so it was a little more relaxed, but also was giving you the full experience of actually like checking out all the beautiful makers and the booths, and there was so many so many wonderful yarns and small farms to check out. So I what I especially liked was there was a lot of stuff that I saw there that I would not have discovered online. Like big brands and names you can always discover online, or someone's talking about them, or you're finding out about them somehow. But these smaller farms, you can only see them at these festivals, and that was really really nice. The ladies at the I bought some yarn at Purgatory Falls Alpaca Farm booth, and they were so sweet. Like they were like, "Oh, you should send us pictures of what you make with the yarn," and it was really nice. Like the atmosphere was it was still that Rhinebeck like atmosphere. Like so many people, everyone having fun, and all these animals. They were so beautiful. Like there were all these sheep, and we saw llamas, and there were some sheep actually being sold at the festival. So it's funny. We were looking at the price of the sheep, and we are like, we buy enough sweater quantities of yarn to actually justify buying a sheep. But poor thing wouldn't be happy on its own, so we would need to get multiple sheep. So someday, that is the dream, right? So yeah, so it was a lot of fun, like walking around, and it was obviously tiring as well because once you start buying everything, like your bags get full real soon. And yeah, we had a lot of fun, and I think until 4:30 or 5 we were there, and after that we were like really exhausted. We're like, okay, we need to get back now. So we actually picked up some more food from the one of this festival booths. I think it was we got some. I got some chili, and it was good food, and we took it back because we didn't really want to go out anywhere else for dinner. We just wanted to hang out and knit and talk, and we like the talking never ended. Like we were constant with the talking. It was so amazing. Like it was very free flowing conversation, the best kind. You didn't have to make an effort, and so many like knitting things to talk about, right? Like what else do you do with people who are as obsessed with knitting as you are? So that was really fun. And we decided to actually not go back to the festival the following day. Um, Mostly because we had to drive back, and also we just really enjoyed each other's company, and we had bought a lot of yarn already. So we decided that we'll just like have a slow start again, knit in the morning, talk away as usual, and then 11 was the checkout. So we did the checkout, and then I think that's when we left. And I actually drove back the entire way. So I drove back almost 11 hours. So, but yeah, I had a really nice weekend. I so enjoyed meeting Selma and Mel, and I feel like the three of us get along really well. And like I said, it was just like meeting old friends. Like, um, there was no zero awkwardness. Like we just it just clicked, right? It was so good to see them, and they and all. Oh, so I didn't even mention this, but we had all discussed any specific projects that we wanted to see that the other had made. So we all decided to take all our knitting that we all wanted to see each other's knitting. So we had a list of things to bring. So we did that, and we all like looked at each other's knitting. So the moment you look at knitting, obviously you're like, I need to make this, and so our wish list of or queue has gotten longer than it was last week for sure. Like there are things on my mind which I was like, yeah, maybe I don't need that, but after looking at them, I'm like, oh, maybe I do need that. Like it was really nice. And I never actually mentioned what I wore at the festival. I wore my Reflections vest. It wasn't that warm, so I didn't want to wear like a full blown sweater. And I knew I would get hot from all the shopping, which was correct, the assessment. So I wore my reflections vest over a shirt that I have, which the shirt that never actually looked good on me. Like it has a weird fit, but the vest made it all better. So and then I got to wear Salma's beautiful dotted race shawl. I was going again with my pink and green kind of a thing, but at the beginning it was still a little chilly. But as the day progressed, it kind of got warm, or maybe I was just warm from walking around and everything. So I took the shawl off. But the dotted rays is so beautiful. I need to make that. That is definitely on my list. I actually already have yarn for it, so it will happen. But I had the honor of wearing Selma's shawl. I am so happy. So yeah, so I think that is pretty much everything. I must have mentioned everything. So it was a lot of fun. Like we already are thinking about where next to meet, because we really had a really good time. So it was I miss them already, and um, I've kept going back and looking at all the footage that I had taken and videos I had taken. And during, when I'm taking a video, like Selma and Mel are talking in the background or I'm talking with them, so our voices got recorded with the video. And I'm listening to that and I'm like, why can't I be back there again? So yeah, so it was really nice, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again, and I'm also looking forward to see their episodes when they talk about the Sheep and Wool Festival. But yeah, that was it was a great trip. I'm super pleased I did that, and I kind of want to do like try different festivals. So next year I'm definitely doing Maryland Sheep and Wool. I'm going actually. Um, I have a friend here who I'm gonna go with. So yeah, we might do another festival next year. We'll see. But yeah, so I'm definitely super happy with how it all went, and I hope you liked all the footage from the festival that I'm sharing as I'm speaking and in between and everything. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna actually record a segment on the yarn purchases and my yarn haul from Vermont Sheep and Wool right now because I want to save on the light and talk about everything I got at Vermont. Um, so let's get to it. If you're not sticking around for this acquisition section, thank you so much for watching the rest of the video. I really hope you enjoyed the rest of it. But those of you who are around to look at beautiful yarn and everything I got at the festival, let's begin. So, I got the first thing I got is gifts from Mel and Selma. So we had all decided to get each other, like we were going to meet for the first time, so we were all obviously going to buy yarn for each other and also some goodies and everything. I only bought yarn for them, like that's all I took for them, but they got such beautiful gifts, like they got yarn and some goodies. Selma gave us Canadian snacks, which was really nice, and I don't have any to show to you because I have obviously eaten them. No, one of the she got us those ketchup chips, like ketchup flavored chips, and then one is the other flavor is called all dress chips or something. I finished the all dress chips on my drive back because I had a really long drive, so Baljeet got none of that. But I am hoping he tries the ketchup chips soon because if he doesn't, I can't promise that it will stick around for longer. So he needs to get to it. Selma also got us some maple syrup from Ottawa, so that is exciting. This weekend I'm definitely planning to make pancakes and try out some maple syrup from Ottawa. And I also got some maple syrup from Vermont because one of our viewers, Suzanne, hi Suzanne, she spoke to us during the festival, and she had messaged on the previous video, saying that she would be there with her daughter, and we met both of them, and it was really nice meeting meeting someone who watches the podcast. Yeah, Suzanne gave us some maple syrup. I think her son works at the farm who produces that syrup, and so thank you so much, Suzanne. I'm so excited to try the maple syrup from Vermont and from Ottawa and do kind of a taste test for myself. Of course, I will be on a sugar high after I finish breakfast the day I decide to make the pancakes, so that should be fun. But yeah, so that, the food was all taken care of, all the snacks were taken care of, and then obviously there was yarn. So on the topic of Selma giving us gifts, she got me this beautiful skein of silk linen fingering yarn from Akara Yarns. I think Salma uses this um, yarn from this company quite a bit, and I think she's helped out this company at a festival, like to help in their booths and everything. I can't remember which one, but it is so pretty. Beautiful lavender color. It's actually 65% silk and 35 linen. It's 490 yards in 115 grams. So this is actually a big skein. So I have to figure out what I need to do with it. Then the colorway is Puto Bombong. I am pretty sure I am butchering that, but that is the colorway of the yarn. It is so pretty. I'm so happy with this. I'm definitely in a purple phase as well. I know I used to say that fall colors and pink are my thing, but fall colors, pink and purple are definitely my thing. So this is happening. Actually, this sweater, because of the mohair here, it's kind of become like not so purple, but this was also like the base is purple, the fingering, the petals yarn. So definitely in a purple mode, and this is so pretty. Thank you so much, Salma. um, and then Mel did this really interesting thing. She got us all the same yarn, and she wants to see, and it will be fun to see what all of us decide to do with it. So that's really fun. So the first thing is this beautiful Daylights yarn by Harrisville. It's American Cormo. It is the lint colorway. Is that right? Ecru and purple, actually. So Daylight's yarn have this. Most of them have this tinge of another color in them. They all look like oatmeal, but they have tinge of other colors. So this is the ecru and purple color, and it's Cormo yarn. I don't think I've ever knit with Cormo, so that I'm really excited about that. So this is a 100-gram skein, and it has 250 yards. I think this will make a really nice. The color is blowing out, but I think it will make a really nice fingerless gloves or even mittens or something like that. I'm not a hat wearer, otherwise the first thing would be a hat, but I think I'm gonna make mittens for myself out of this. And then she got us this beautiful skein from Gooseberry Fibers. No, Goosey Fibers. Why am I saying gooseberry? Goosey Fibers. The color is Weekend Upstate, which was very apt for our weekend. It has beautiful speckles. It has some pinks and some green speckles and everything. So very nice color. Again, going with what I'm wearing. But I haven't decided what I want to make with this. But it's very soft. 75-25. So 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon. So this is the yarn that Mel got us. Thank you so much, Mel. All right. Oh, Selma actually got us. Oh my God, I forgot to mention. Selma actually got us for project bags as well. So I got this very pretty project bag from Dolphina. I think the project bag maker is local to Selma, and look at that pink. I love it. It is so pretty. I'm going to I wanted to show this bag to you, and then I'm gonna put stuff in it. Should be fun. She's actually done some the can you see the details on it? Like she has done some embroidery on it. Like it is so beautiful. Very nice. And then Mel actually so does project bags, like really pretty looking ones. Look at that. It is so beautiful. I have my sock project in it right now, but it's a very interesting bag. So the bag actually opens and sits on its on like it can stand on its own. So it's so pretty. And she made this with linen fabric, and look at that stitching. That is just beautiful. It looks like a very like, I mean, I want to say professional, but then Mel is a professional sewer, I would say. So pretty, and I love the colors. Thank you so much, Mel. This is so beautiful. I really like it. And I love that mustard. So pretty. And then she also got us some progress keepers. And this one is a cat. I don't know if, is it? Can you see the cat? It's a little kitty. So me, Salma and Mel, all of us are cat ladies. So the cat appearing in our gifts is almost like necessary. uh, Mel also got us these Bagu bags. This also has kitties on it. And this was perfect because we got the gifts before we went to the festival. So we were able to fill these bags with awesome yarn that we bought there. All right. I need to show the actual yarn before it gets darker because I don't want to turn on the yellow light on top of me. Otherwise, the yarn colors that show up will not be in their best state. So one of the first things I bought, oh, I started my shopping with some green yarn. I bought this beautiful Border Leicester Romney nylon blend sock yarn. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, so the brand is, or the company is called Hands and Heart Farm. And this is a finger sock weight yarn and Border Leicester Romney and nylon. Look at those colors. I have never tried yarn like with Border Leicester and Romney, the sock yarn I mean. So this will be really fun to knit with. This is the first thing I picked up. And then I went to this booth which was by Purgatory Falls Alpaca. That's the farm, Purgatory Falls Alpaca Farm. And this is a 80% alpaca, 20% merino worsted weight yarn, which is this beautiful color. And of course, I have already cast on and I'm knitting a project with this. Very pretty color. I don't think there was a colorway name on it. It's a very nice lavender purpley color. So I don't think there was a colorway name, but it is so soft and so beautiful to knit with. I've cast on a project with it already. I had to. I don't know if I'll be talking about my works in progress in this video, mostly because I'm losing light. So we'll just stick to finished objects I've already done, and then I'm showing you the yarn, and then we'll talk about the festival. And then I bought this beautiful yarn from Green Mountain Spinnery. This base is called Music. I'll put it on the screen how it's spelled, and it's DK weight 100% fine American wool. And the colorway is actually Diamonds and Rust. It is very pretty, and you know rust is my color, so this is going to be amazing. And I bought this to make the pattern Vesper with a Twist by Thea Coleman. So that should be really, really nice. And there was this booth. I don't know the name of the farm. It was just this person with yarn displayed. He had a booth, but I don't think I picked up the name of the farm. And it's the composition is wool, mohair, alpaca, and nylon. And it just literally has this. It's 7.5 ounces. I asked him what the yardage was. He had to calculate it using a calculator. Like it was really funny. Um, how like local and it you can only buy these kind of things at a festival. I don't think they have any online presence, but look at this beautiful skein of yarn. Isn't that just amazing? I bought two skeins of this. I think this is about 1300 yards in two skeins. My second skein is a little different because it's like no skein is the same. So this has more oranges and reds, and this is a little more pink. But they're close enough that if I alternate skeins, you won't know the difference. So I'm actually planning to make the Girlfriend's Cardigan by Anchor Strick with this yarn. It will be so beautiful. I don't think I have to hold it with mohair, I'll just do it by itself. Or anything in garter and like a cardigan where I use up both these skeins. Simple garter will be so, so pretty. I'm super happy with this purchase, and of course, I have to buy sweaters quantity. I could have walked away with a single skein, but no, I had to buy two of them. All right, so I think it's getting a little dark in here, so let's continue our conversation with a little bit of a location change. Hello, hello, we're back. So I actually have a couple more acquisitions. So everyone knows about Brown Bunny pottery because Selma has spoken a lot about it on her podcast. And she has Gertie, a beautiful mug from Brown Bunny pottery. And we had all decided that we would go to the Bunny pottery booth because we really wanted to get something from there. And I think her name is Claudia. I don't think Claudia has much of an online presence, so you can only find her at festivals and stuff like that. So we decided to actually like beeline for her booth when we started the shopping part. So I ended up with this beautiful little mug from Claudia, and this is a little sheep. So pretty. I love it so much. And it's got like little bumps on it. Maybe that's supposed to be the the fleece and everything. It is so pretty. It's this sweet little yellow color with the specks and everything. So I'm really, really pleased with this purchase. Look at that sheep. I still have to name the sheep. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll figure it out. And then Baljeet and I were actually, we, someone came over for dinner and we realized we don't have any salt and pepper shakers. So when I saw these at the booth, I absolutely had to jump at it. Look at this little hedgehog. This is the salt, table salt, and this is for the pepper. So cute. Little hedgehogs. Very, very pretty. Claudia does an amazing job, as you can see. I'm super happy with this purchase. So got something for the house. It was not just all for me. And then finally, I think last year at Rhinebeck, Mel had purchased a shawl pin from this particular seller, Bialo Payden Designs. I'm probably completely butchering that, but I followed in Mel's footsteps and got myself this really pretty shawl pin. I think I'm going to keep this for myself unless I find someone to gift it to. Uh, Now that I have a few shawls of my own, I can actually use a shawl pin. So that should be interesting. Very nice. So those were all my acquisitions, and as you can see, I did not end up with as much yarn as I did last year from Rhinebeck. Mostly because it was a smaller festival and I have a lot more yarn now. So I don't think I needed to buy any. I didn't need to buy all this, but I still did. But I'm super pleased with everything that I came back with, and I'm very, very happy with just the festival and everything. So that's it was a very successful trip. All right. Um, thank you so much for watching. If you've watched it so far, and if you've stuck around for the acquisitions as well, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I kind of did put this together in a hurry, mostly because I'm super busy this week and this weekend, and I didn't want to wait until next weekend to record. So I decided that I would just go ahead and put together this video as soon as possible. So thank you so much for your patience with that. I know a lot of you were waiting for this particular episode. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for leaving such beautiful comments. And I really, really appreciate all your support. And I can't believe I waited until the end to say this, but it has been a year since I've been podcasting and since all of you have been supporting me. So thank you so much for that. And happy 1 year. Happy 1 year to you and to me for sticking with this. Like I had a lot of fun. I made a lot of wonderful friends, and I know some of these friends will be like friends for life. So I'm super, super excited and happy about that. This has definitely been a very rewarding experience, and I am completely thankful to all of you for making this happen. So, as usual, stay safe, take care, and happy crafting.